I actually had a company. It was right after I left Dropbox, and I committed to work with these guys for 6 months to help them grow. I ran the question and it came back at only 7% of users saying they'd be very disappointed without the product. But fortunately, with the signal and the information we got from the initial survey, we were able to get them at 40% in 2 weeks. So the company called Lookout, it's a mobile security company, but at that time, the product had everything from like back up my data to find my lost phone to protecting your phone from with a firewall and antivirus. And so when we ran this initial survey, I dug into the 7% who said they'd be very disappointed without the product and found that most of that 7% were focused on the antivirus functionality. And so now we knew, okay, it's antivirus that people really valued. And so step one was just reposition the product on antivirus. So that kind of creates a filter. So anyone who now is coming in to sign up for the product who doesn't care about antivirus is not going to convert. And those who are excited about antivirus are going to convert. We already know from the initial survey that people value that after they convert. So by setting the right expectations around it up front, you're going to bring people in with the right expectations. But then the second thing that we did was we streamlined onboarding so that the first thing that they did after signing up for the product was to set up the antivirus and then get a message, you're now protected from viruses. And so it's really the combination of those two things. It's set the right expectations and then speed to value. And so the next cohort of people that we surveyed were at 40% saying they'd be very disappointed without the product. So that was literally took 2 weeks to make those changes. 6 months later, it was 60% on the score. And then I think they hit the $1 billion valuation 4 or 5 years later. Ultimately, moving retention is really hard, but it's usually much more a function of onboarding to the right user experience than it is about the kind of the tactical things that people try to do to improve retention. Until you deeply understand that product market fit, you kind of don't have the tools to be able to grow the business. So that's really the next step, is to dig in and figure out, who considers it a must-have? How are they using the product? What did they use before? What problem are they solving? One of my favorite questions is, what is the primary benefit that you get? And then I use that initially as an open-ended question to kind of crowdsource different benefits people are getting. But then I run another survey where I turn it into a multiple choice question, force them to pick one of 4 kind of distinctive benefit statements. And then the question that follows on that next survey is, why is that benefit important to you? And then I start to get really good context. So I think when you can really dig into the context of why that must-have benefit is important to people, you start to get the ingredients to build that flywheel that leads to long-term sustainable grroth. Start peeling back that onion and just deeply understand them and make sure that you're ultimately your product roadmap is doubling down on the things that are important to your must-have customers. Your onboarding is bringing new people to the right experience. Your messaging is setting the right expectations. Your acquisition campaigns are targeting people who actually have the need. And so it's all about getting the right people to the right experience. And then even in your engagement loop is about just reinforcing how to get people to experience that benefit more often.